Welcome to qnawire.
Okay, we need to draw the Lewis structure for H3CNO. And we're told that the hydrogen atoms are all bound to the carbon. And that the C and O atoms are both bonded to the nitrogen, as shown, but it's not really showing us. Okay. And the question is, what are the shapes around the C and N atoms, the carbon and nitrogen atoms? But essentially, they're describing the structure of nitrosomethane. That is a CH3 bound to a nitrogen, which is a double bond to an oxygen, as well as a lone pair, and a couple of lone pairs on oxygen. Okay, so now the question is, what are the shapes around the C and N atoms? Well, I think one thing that can maybe help us here is if I draw these hydrogens explicitly around the carbon. Okay. And then let's figure that out, right? So let's look at the carbon first. What do we know about carbon with 4 bonds? Carbon with 4 bonds, or really any atom that has 4 electron regions, in this case each electron region is a bond, is going to adopt tetrahedral geometry. Right? 4 electron regions, tetrahedral. Okay, not too bad. What about this nitrogen? Right? So here we've got 1, 2, 3 electron regions, and one of them is a lone pair, right? So this is, in terms of electronic geometry, is trigonal planar. And trigonal planar with 1 lone pair, in terms of molecular geometry, right, is going to give us bent structure. Okay. In the same way that tetrahedral with 2 lone pairs gets us bent, trigonal planar with 1 lone pair gets us bent. So we have carbon is tetrahedral and nitrogen is bent. Now we just have to see which of the options correspond to that. So A is tetrahedral carbon and nitrogen bent. So it sounds like A is the correct answer, just to double check. B says C is trigonal planar and is bent. We know C is not trigonal planar. C says carbon is trigonal pyramidal. We know that's not true. And nitrogen is linear. That's also not true. D says C is trigonal pyramidal. That's not true. And nitrogen is bent. No. And E says carbon is tetrahedral while nitrogen is linear. And we know that's not true. It's bent. It's not linear. And carbon is tetrahedral. It's not anything else. So there's only one good answer, and that is A.